And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, October 27th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down an 11-game NBA slate. Last night was not the one I was looking for, even though all the studs I got right. I had more than the field for Anthony Davis, a lot more than the field of Damian Lillard. I was short on Joel Embiid. None of it mattered because I got everybody else wrong. Taurean Prince, 2 fantasy points. Nope. Yuta Watanabe, 4 fantasy points. Nope. I took some shots on non-Jordan Goodwin value, and then he went out and was the best point per dollar play on the day. Awfulness. Just awfulness. Super frustrating. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Good morning, everybody. Pete the Heat in the house. What's going on, man? Miss you too. Hope things are going well for you. What else we got in here? Let's see. I can never get Reeves and D'Lo right. Actually, didn't even look to see what they did, but considering no one did anything, it was pretty much just Anthony Davis, and that was it. Yeah, 60% Anthony Davis for me, 60% KD, 43% Dame, 30% Tyrese Maxey. I got those 4 guys right. None of it mattered. None of it mattered. Yeah, Kelly Oubre couldn't miss. People are going to overreact to that one in a big way. I'm not saying that he didn't look good, but we got to remember that you're not just good because the shot went in. If Kelly Oubre shoots slightly worse, no one really cares. He's not going to go 9 of 11 every night. Oh, man. S&P. That Jordan Goodwin one was not fun. I mean, I didn't get to 30 minutes, that's for sure. But even if I would have, the ownership coming in at 70% or whatever. Do I wish I would have had more in hindsight? Yeah, probably. Oh, well. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We made it to Friday, guys. That's pretty exciting, right? We got it through the opener on Tuesday, the massive slate on Wednesday. Yesterday was nice. I was happy to just sit down and watch some basketball. I watched that entire Bucks game. And then I watched a little bit at the beginning of that Suns-Lakers game, but I don't have a lot of interest in watching the Suns when no one's around. So I just woke up to garbage. 11 games today. It's a big one. Next week's basically the same. It's big Monday slate, tiny Tuesday, really big Wednesday slate. I think there's 13 games next Wednesday. Small Thursday slate, big Friday slate. So we'll have that up and down roller coaster probably until the NFL ends. But for now, I say we get into it. We got a lot of games to get through. This is probably going to go hour and a half to 2 hours easy. So buckle up, enjoy the ride. Let's get into the real stuff here. Hit that like button if you haven't done it already. That's the big one. We are trying to get to 100 likes by the time we get to 7 a.m. Only way we can do that is if you guys hit it right now. No reason not to. If you're here, if you're willing to watch the show at 6:30 and you don't hit the like button, I'm really curious as to why. You can be honest. I won't be mean in the chat. Why wouldn't you hit the like button if you're willing to be here at 6:30? What else do we got? Subscribe to the channel, notification bell. There's so much content both here and on our Odd Shopper channel that you guys should check out. We've got Odd Shopper deals right now, but then we got the big one, top of the screen. 20% off our NBA Sims package or any NBA package that you want. Click the link. I need to get that coffee in my body. Click the link in the description of the video. Promo code is TIPOFF. You're getting our projections, our ownership, boom bust tool. But you're getting our Sims tool, and it's revolutionary, guys. There may be other Sim tools on the market for you, but this is changing up DFS in a way where you just get additional information. You can feel a little bit better about the lineups that you're putting in. I personally think it's great for like the opposite version of me. And let me elaborate on that for a second. For anybody that's been on the fence, I'm going to use terminology that's going to sound demeaning. I don't mean it like that, but you know how I work. If you're I know ball guy, you know, I'm this guy always does well against that guy. You know, there's a narrative that I want to play. Without Sims, a lot of people, to me, the large majority of the I know ball guys, whichever sport we want to talk about, they're going to make those tweaks and make bad lineups because of those tweaks. With the Sims tool, you can be an I know ball guy. You can look at the Pistons today and say, I'm looking, this is the first team on my list. It's like, Cade Cunningham's not that owned today, but Charlotte stinks. And I know Cade is great in Charlotte. He's always been great in Charlotte. I want more Cade Cunningham. He's not showing up in the Sims. If you boost Cade Cunningham in the Sims, the only thing you're doing at that point in time is creating a situation where you're going to get more of the best ROI lineups for Cade Cunningham. Do that for any player. If you're making all of those manual changes, the only thing you're doing is assuring yourself that you're getting the best possible lineup you can get for that I know ball thought process. I hope that makes sense. When you start boosting these dudes, you don't have to worry about getting a lineup that is also terrible that you didn't know before. Now you're getting the best lineup that exists. If you want to say, like, you know what, Jalen Duren smashes today, you can force yourself into 20% of Jalen Duren or 30% of Jalen Duren if that's what you want to do. But at the very least, the Sims tool is going to get you the best possible Jalen Duren lineups. And that's where the difference is a little bit. It's not just here are the highest projected lineups. Here are the lineups that are going to give you the most money in the long run. That's why you should sign up for the Sims tool. See what I mean at the very least. 20% off for your first week or month, depending on how big you want your package to be. Phrasing. 20% off whichever NBA package you want. The links are in the description. So now I think we got to get some coffee and we got to get this bad boy started. We got a lot to break down. Now, we've had these teams play, so we have rotations, but this is the show that's usually longer. The second big slate. Because now we know rotations and we got to look at them a little bit more. It's still just a sample of one, but now that we have the information, we kind of got to dig into it. All righty, guys. Like button, you know the deal. 100 people here. Coffee's here. I've energized myself by talking about The Sims, so I hope you guys sign up for it. I don't know if I'm supposed to say stuff like this, so I'll be muted with it. But we had a really awesome day on Tuesday at Stochastic in terms of people coming in the door, which I'm very happy to see. And I had a very great couple days with you guys signing up for stuff through the process, through the strategy show, through the deeper dive, etc. So thank you to you guys for signing up and listening to me to start off the season. I'm very happy with the amount of signups that have come in from this show and from the other shows that I've been doing. And I'm very happy with the way that the company succeeded to start the week for the NBA. So kudos to you guys. Thank you for being here. Coffee's here as well. Whatever you got to drink this morning, I should have had a mimosa today too. Maybe we'll work that in. Mimosa Mondays or something along those lines. Maybe I shouldn't have alcohol at 6:30 in the morning on a Monday. Anyway, coffee, tea, water, beer. If you're smoking, great. I couldn't do it. This show would take 8 hours instead of 2. Any breakfast foods you got, that would help too. I had some Pop-Tarts while my dad was living with us, and they are real shitty now. There's just not enough flavor on the inside, and it's just really dry, crumbly pastry. Anyway, cheers to you guys. Rise and grind. You know how I can talk about random stuff. Rise and grind. It's Friday. We're closing out the work week strong. Let's do it. Bang. Cheers. Yo, that's the best one I've had all week. Maybe that's just because I've been working hard, but that was good. Oh, we're gonna have a Pop-Tarts conversation. I'm cool with that. All right. Yeah, I got. They were extra special, not good. Crispy, what up? All right, let's get into it. Pistons and Hornets. 69 likes, Dope Heathen. Thanks for letting me know. Detroit Pistons are 4-point dogs in Charlotte. 225 total. On the Pistons side of this one, they are still without Bojan Bogdanovic, Isaiah Livers, and Monty Morris. The Pistons lost by 1 to the Miami Heat on the opener. We gotta make that a little bit smaller so I can see the other side. Oh, it was already too big. All right, so we got pretty much standard starter run from everybody for the Pistons, except Asar Thompson did not play in the fourth quarter. I don't know if anybody has any information on that, but they closed with Alec Burks, and I think that's pretty interesting to see. So let's go ahead and pop in these minutes. We got Cade playing 36 in a competitive matchup, so we're going to go ahead and immediately bump up the Cade Cunningham projection. I'm also going to take out all backups and then re-project everybody. So I think that always makes things a little bit easier. And remember, we're going to try to move pretty quickly through this stuff because we don't want to dilly-dally too much. So I'm going to bump up to 34 minutes for Cade. Maybe I should go a little bit higher since he played 36, but we got to remember this is the Pistons. So 34 in for Cade. Killian Hayes played pretty standard 30 minutes. I don't see any real reason that I should think that's going to change. Played the whole fourth quarter. So we got to remember, if these guys are willing to play the whole fourth quarter in a competitive game, we know what they're doing. Asar Thompson then is the tricky guy. So he played 27 minutes without playing in the fourth quarter. He was minus 14, and I think we're going to see that. I actually think 30 minutes for Asar Thompson is a decent projection. He could close. I don't expect him to close. Sometimes he won't be minus 14, and they'll leave him out there. Then we got Beast Stew played 34 minutes. Assuming that is standard, I'm going to bump him up to 31. And then we got Jalen Duren also playing about 32 minutes. I'm going to bump him up to 30. I think every bit of that looks good, keeping these starters in for at least 30 minutes. We saw Bagley be the first guy off the bench. We did not see James Wiseman, which is just truly crazy to see. Take a time machine back to the Golden State Warriors drafting James Wiseman and make that be anybody else, basically. Think about that. Because you can do it and you can be like, can you imagine if they got LaMelo Ball? Sure. Can you imagine if they got Onyeka Okongwu? Or they were the ones that got Tyrese Halliburton? Even some, like, what does Patrick Williams look like? How does he grow on the Warriors instead of the Bulls? Even like, Denny Avdia, who I was like mildly advocating for at the time. What does his career look like if he's just only there learning in the Warriors system instead of the Wizards? Crazy to think about. Anyway, Marvin Bagley, backup center, direct backup for Duren in the first half. All right, so Marvin Bagley was the straight backup. So we're going to go ahead and give Marvin Bagley 18 minutes at center. Straight backup to Jalen Duren. Jaden Ivey then was the next guy off the bench. Jaden Ivey only played 18 minutes. I don't know about you guys, but I did not expect that. I feel like I need to move all of my windows to the opposite side so I look the other direction. Yeah, because if I'm going to be looking left more, I want to look into the screen. Now, when I look at chat, it's different. I don't like any of these views. I really don't. I got to figure out a different visual for this show. If you're smart and you understand things like that, hit me up. All right, so Jaden Ivey playing so little is pretty crazy. He was like Killian Hayes' direct backup. So I'm going to give Jaden Ivey 18 minutes behind Hayes for now. I'm spending too much time on the Pistons, but I wasn't ready for what I'm seeing. Okay, so Burks can close. He played the entire fourth quarter. Let's just say he doesn't. Then we're talking about Alec Burks playing like 20 minutes. So I'm going to pop that in for 20. Who are we missing then? Marcus Sasser played 10 minutes. I definitely don't know who he is or have him in my model. So Marcus Sasser is a guard? Who did he play for? So Marcus Sasser was Cade Cunningham's backup? Raise your hand if you saw that one coming. All right, Marcus Sasser played 10 minutes. I guess we assume he does that again, and then Joe Harris plays the final whatever. There's 14 for Joe Harris. I don't understand this. I don't understand it at all. Marcus Sasser is a 6'2" guard. Is he a rookie? He is a rookie. Okay, so let's copy him over then. I obviously am not going to be taking in a lot of Pistons games this year. Lindsey Hunter, Eddie House. Okay, great. So his comps are non-people. Spark plug guard, plays hard on defense. All right. So you're going to be discount TJ McConnell. And your name is Marcus Sasser. Yeah, I can't lie, guys. I don't know who this dude is. He was pretty good at Houston. Yeah, I guess he was a senior combo guard. Now he's already playing for the Pistons. That can't be good. All right, Marcus Sasser is in for 10 minutes. I don't really see a spot where I want to hand out these extra minutes. Maybe it is Cade up to 35, at least in this game. So we'll give Cade one more minute. And then I'm just going to hide 4 minutes on like Wiseman or something because I don't care. Now let's go to Charlotte. Hornets in their first game ended up beating the Atlanta Hawks by 6. Oh, yeah, I had a massive amount of Mark Williams. I totally forgot. I mean, he might be better than Ivy now, but there's a reason that Marcus Sasser wasn't the same sort of draft pick as Ivy. But Marcus Sasser was a senior. Marcus Sasser is older than Jaden Ivey by like 2 years. So I'm not. He should be probably better than Jaden Ivey. All right, for the Hornets, man, I'm going to suck this coffee down. It's so good. LaMelo, Mark Williams, Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, Rozier. All the starters played pretty well. Standard 30 minutes. So I got 32 in for LaMelo. He played 31. I'm going to feel pretty good about 32. Terry Rozier played 34 and a half. I'm going to actually take him down to 34 for right now. Gordon Hayward played 33 minutes. I'm at least going to give him 32 here. Mark Williams ended up playing 30 minutes. I think 28 looks fine, but I am going to go to 29 and 19. I'm a big Mark Williams believer, so I'm excited for this. PJ Washington played 32 minutes. I got him in for 32. That all seems fine. Brandon Miller played 24 and a half. I'm going to bring him down to 25. JT Thor was the next guy off the bench. He played 20 minutes. I'm going to just give him the 16 backup minutes at the power forward for right now. Nick Richards as the straight backup to Mark Williams. And then they basically only played 9 guys. Teo Maledon played 16 minutes as the backup point guard. They really didn't go to Nick Smith. So I am going to leave. Nick Smith did play basically 1 minute. I am going to give Nick Smith the 5 minutes that I have here as placeholder minutes. But then that's going to really do it for this particular game. I do want to quickly look. I forgot to take a look at rates just from the first game. So in the opener, Terry Rozier with a 30% usage rate. LaMelo was at 24. PJ Washington was at 25. I don't think that's going to be the long-term plan. I think we're going to see LaMelo with a lot more. Don't have too much else I want to change here on the Charlotte side. I guess I do want to take a look at, did Cade have any sort of like crazy usage? In the opener, Cade, okay, 37% usage from Cade, 22 from Duren, 23 from Sasser, which is something to talk about. Bagley's was much lower. I've got Cade in for 26 and a half right now. I'm actually going to bump Cade. 1 extra percentage point. And then maybe I'll bump up Duren a little bit too. Let's call that. And let's see what this game looks like. Again, game 1. We're already at 6:53. I'm going to need to move way faster. We're going to be here for 2 hours. But that's okay. I don't mind being here for 2 hours. On the Pistons, not a lot to like here. 8,800 for Cade on DraftKings, 8,700 on FanDuel. I think Isaiah Stewart on DraftKings, because of the power forward eligibility, is your best play on DK. I don't think that anybody on the Pistons is exceptional. Lots of good filler. Nobody stands out. On FanDuel, maybe 5K Killian Hayes or Beef Stew. I'd rather not have much of Detroit. I'm going to go straight back to Mark Williams for 5,800 on DraftKings. But remember, we're going to have 25 centers that look very similar. So play the ownership game if you can. PJ Washington looks solid for 5,900. Again, having that power forward eligibility is really big. I don't get the sense that I'm going to have too much LaMelo. I'm more along the lines of the filler here. Mark Williams, Nick Richards as a backup. Probably not going to do that on a slate this big, but he is 3,700. I think it's Mark Williams and PJ Washington. Game number 2. Denver Nuggets on the road, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. Nugs, obviously, probably going to smack these guys around. Don't have too much to change here for Denver because of their first game. It's a little bit easier. It was easier to project the Denver Nuggets. The only thing that we have to worry about is the Julian Strother, Peyton Watson sitch. So I'm going to take out Strother and Holiday and Watson's minutes. And then everybody else should basically be the same. 34 minutes to Jamal Murray, 14 minutes to Reggie Jackson. So Reggie Jackson played 24 minutes in the opener, which means they have no problem playing Reggie Jackson and Jamal Murray together. I would not have expected that. So we need to give Reggie Jackson 6 more minutes. So we still have Jamal Murray in for 34. We bump Reggie Jackson to 20. I don't want to go all the way up to 24. Christian Brown played about 20 minutes. I got him in for 18 right now. I think that's fine. Zeke Naji is going to be your backup center. I'm not changing anything for Jokic. MPJ played 30. Aaron Gordon played 35. I'm going to bump him up to 33. I'm going to keep MPJ at 30. I think that's just like the perfect MPJ game. Get Christian Brown there. And then we've got KCP, who played 36 minutes in the opener. Probably need to give him 2 more. That gets him to 34. So now we just need to split minutes between, well, we need Peyton Watson's 12 minutes, I guess. Something like that. And then, well, that's 9 guys. They played 9 guys. Where did those extra minutes go? I guess a couple extra minutes. I mean, Jokic played 36 and change in the opener. That doesn't really change anything for me, though, because did Zeke Naji play alongside Jokic at all? No. All right, so we want to give Christian Brown 2 more minutes. I think 34 for Murray makes sense. I think 20 for Reggie Jackson doesn't make sense. I don't want to just reward him for having a hot hand. Bump up Peyton Watson to 14 since that's not actually going to matter. And then I'm going to just throw those 7 minutes on Strother. That also won't matter for today. We got to remember, massive slate like this, 11 gamer, it doesn't really matter how I project the bench. Oh my God. That coffee is so good. Maxey looked great last night, though. All right, Memphis side. Memphis Grizzlies did not have a very good debut. That was a tough one for the Grizz. They got beat by 7 against New Orleans. All right, let's take out all of the backups. Big body David Ratty. All right, so I got 33 minutes in for Marcus Smart. He played 32. Feel good there. 35 for Bane. Feel good there. 30 for Tillman. He played 33. Definitely bumping that up. That was a regret of mine that I didn't give him a little bit more playing time. They don't have a choice. Tillman has to be out there. Now, there's a bad spot for more minutes for Tillman just because of who they're playing, but I kind of have to go that way. Jaren Jackson is playing with the second unit, which I think is very interesting to see. He staggered across the second quarter. He played 36 minutes. I think I have to go up to 33 here on Jaren Jackson. And then Zaire Williams didn't close. They closed with Big Body Roddy, but Zaire Williams still played 29 minutes. So I have to go to at least 29. He could very easily pick up another minute. And then we can sort of think about the rest of these guys. So Jaren Jackson is the straight backup to Tillman. So let's move those minutes around a little bit. Derrick Rose was the straight backup to Marcus Smart. Good to know. Demetrius, morning. Nice to see you here. Luke Kennard is going to sort of transcend positions. Let's get Big Body Roddy in. He played 28. I think like 24 is probably the play here. And then the rest of this should fill itself out. So it ended up being Jake LaRavia. Not who did I have projected that wasn't Jake LaRavia? Not sure. But it ended up being LaRavia, so good to know. So we need to get Kennard in. Kennard only played 15 minutes. He's minus 14, so I guess that's not surprising, but that doesn't seem like a long-term expectation. If we go to LaRavia, who played 15 minutes, I think we can maintain that. That leaves me 11 minutes left over for this team. I don't naturally see anybody, but I do think that... Ooh, I gave Conchar those minutes over Kennard. I do think that Kennard is more... Wait, is Kennard out? Luke Kennard out. Never mind. I got there, Brandon. I beat you. I never saw your message. I got to it when I needed to. That makes a lot more sense. Man, Adams, Aldama, Clark, Kennard, Morant. They're literally missing 30, 60, 75, 90. They're missing like 100 of their rotation minutes. All right, so no Kennard really makes this easier. They're just going to turn Kennard into John Conchar. I'm very confident in that. And then that still leaves me 8 minutes left over. I don't really know where to bury those minutes. So I'm going to split them. I don't even have anybody to split them on. But I don't see anybody that I would really want to bump. So I got to split 4 and 4 on... Oh, yeah, Kenneth Lofton Jr. never played. That was the guy that we were assuming. Do I have rates for Vince Williams? Sure don't. Let's give him the Lofton. It doesn't really make a difference. All right, so game number 2, Denver and Memphis. All right, on the Denver side, Jokic is 11-6 on DraftKings today. Sure. I mean, he's going to smash, but that is a big price tag now. MPJ would be my favorite Nugget at 5,800. I don't think anybody on the Nuggets really looks great. Murray, probably my second favorite guy there. And then on the Memphis side, I really like Marcus Smart at 5,800. Tillman looks great at 5,800. He's probably the best play for Memphis, but again, center is different. 7,400 on DK, power forward center for Jaren Jackson. He'll be the most popular Grizzly if it's not $8,600 Bane. But I'm going straight back to Bane and Jaren Jackson here. I didn't really like the way that shook out. What did Bane's usage rate end up being? Oh, we're at the top of the hour. Did we get there? 185 people. You guys get me to 100? 99. We're sitting on the doorstep, on the precipice. You got guys. One person needs to hit that like button. I'm going to assume, and there we go. Thank you guys. We got to where we needed to be. I appreciate you guys being here. Bane, 30% usage rate. So I feel pretty good having it in at 27. Jaren Jackson's was 16. He basically didn't shoot. That was tough to see. Marcus Smart's was a little bit higher than you would want it. So I don't know. Through the first 2 games, not really all that married to it. Haven't seen anything that we want to go crazy for. You guys probably know where the price discrepancies are. New York Knicks, 1-point dogs in Atlanta, 229 total. For the Knicks, they fell short against Boston, lost by 4. It was bad early. They came back. This one should be pretty easy to project. So Brunson, I got in for 34 minutes. He played 33. I'm going to leave 34. I got quickly in for 23. He closed over Josh Hart. Nope, Josh Hart wouldn't have closed. He closed sort of over Quentin Grimes. We'll work this out. Randall in for 34 minutes. I got 35. Fine. Mitchell Robinson didn't close. He played 22 minutes. I believe he was in foul trouble. Yeah, he had 4 fouls. Picked up 2 in the first half. picked up a third in the second quarter, and then right out of the gate in the third, picked up another foul. So I still feel good with 28-20. Mitchell Robinson to Isaiah Hartenstein. There's that. So then we get Randall. Josh Hart played 22 minutes. I got him in for 24. RJ Barrett played 36. That's a spot where we can grab a couple extra. DiVincenzo played a little bit less than I thought he would. So I can give those minutes to RJ Barrett. And then for Quentin Grimes, who played 23 minutes, I think we're good. And I don't expect to like the Knicks here. I don't think anybody will be surprised by that either. On the Atlanta end, they were bad in the opener. Hawks lost to the Charlotte Hornets by 6. The rotation, however, was 9 guys. So this does make for a pretty easy explanation of what we want to do. I'm going to pull non-starters. We got 36 minutes out of Trae Young. I got 35. We got 33 minutes out of DeJounte Murray. I have him in for 35, but we're going to keep that at 35 for sure. I'm going to take another sip of coffee because it's so damn delicious. Bird Gang, happy birthday. I didn't notice that at first. I didn't want to miss it. Happy birthday. All right, so that's 35 in there for Murray. We've got the 27-21 split for Capella. He actually went 28-20. So I'm going to go 28-20. Sadiq Bey, though, didn't close. Now, Jalen Johnson was hot shit. Jalen Johnson was 9 of 13 from the field. 6 of 12 for Bey. Bey still got the 29 minutes. I'm going to take that down to 30. And then DeAndre Hunter played 31, which is what I had him in for. So I'm going to leave him at 31. So then Jalen Johnson played 29 minutes. I'm going to say we don't expect that every time. But I'm going to go 26. And then we need AJ Griffin and Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich played 24. I'm going to give Bogdanovich his same 24. And that leaves me 11 minutes for AJ Griffin. Done. Hawks done. Game 3 done. So on the New York Knicks side, I need to set up a different highlight here. Okay, Knicks. Randall looks solid for 8,400. Mitchell Robinson, center, And then RJ Barrett, I mean, if he's going to play 34, 35 minutes, small forward, power forward, maybe he's taking a leap. We got to remember RJ Barrett is hella young. At some point in time, maybe he's just the guy that he is. RJ Barrett's 23. I would say no priorities from the Knicks. Best plays is probably either Randall or Brunson. 7,500 for Brunson looks all right. On Atlanta, it's Trae Young for me at 9,200. Although, because 4,700 for Jalen Johnson is a tough sell. It's a solid price tag, but for a backup on an 11 gamer, that's going to be tough. The point per dollar rates on Atlanta look pretty solid. But I like Trae. I think I like Trae Young the most here. Murray for 7,500, very in play. Very similar looking dudes here. 5K for Bey isn't a problem. All right, game 4. The Miami Heat are 8-point dogs in Boston, 217 total. I hate this Miami team so much. I hate it so much. People think I'm going to be a hater. It's insane. They're not a good regular season team. They're just not. If they get into the playoffs, yeah, when Bam can play 40 minutes and Jimmy can play 40 minutes, they're a much better team. Over the past 4 years, we know they've gone to 3 Eastern Conference Finals, 2 finals. Over those 4 years, they win at a 48% clip. They're a below 500 team across this 4-year stretch in the regular season. We need to remember that we got to separate regular season and playoff Miami. They're not the same thing. Now, for this Miami Heat team, opening night, well, their opening night ended up being a 1-point win against the Detroit Pistons. We saw a rotation a little bit different than what I think anybody was really expecting. So I'm going to kill all of the backup dudes. We get Kyle Lowry starting, played 32 minutes. I'm going to go to 31. We had Tyler Hero starting, played 34. I'm going to expect that to continue. 34 minutes for Bam is just going to be pretty standard issue fare. And then they did use Thomas Bryant as the straight backup. So that one can pretty much hold moving forward. Kevin Love started. Kevin Love also closed, which I think is interesting. I think you're going to see Kevin Love close a lot during the regular season because it's the regular season. In a playoff game, you can only have Kevin Love out there for 12 minutes. In the playoffs, you just don't get hunted the same way. Now, maybe he does here against Boston, but I think going to like 24 minutes to Kevin Love is going to look a little bit more reasonable, at which point Caleb Martin is also going to take a bit of a discount in playing time. Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez, and Drew Smith rounded out the rest of the rotation. Very surprised to not see Haywood Highsmith involved. As someone that was getting playoff rotation minutes, I'm surprised that he didn't jump back into it. We're going to have to add Jaime Jaquez to the model quickly, so let's do that now. So let's get Jaquez in, because I did not expect him to be playing the way that he did. So comp for Jaquez, shades of Kevin McHale impressionist. So we're going to say, well, like ultra discount Domantas Sabonis. Try something like that. As a baseline stat. Like we're not playing him, but we want to have a proper-ish baseline for some of these guys. So we get Jaquez in, and he played, 15 minutes or so? 13 minutes? We'll get Jaquez in for 14. Duncan Robinson played 22. And then 13 minutes we're going to give to, I guess, technically Drew Smith. Probably too many, but it won't really make a difference. So that's going to be Miami. We go to the Boston side of this one, which should be pretty cut and dry. Celtics picked up the dub against the Knicks. And we got Horford, Hauser, Pritchard, Cornette. There's not too much that we need to worry about here, at least not that I could tell. Derek White played 32 minutes. That's what I have in. Drew Holiday played 35 minutes. I have 33. I'm okay with it for right now. 35 for Jaylen Brown. Now, Jaylen Brown played 38 minutes. Jason Tatum played 39 minutes. I got to bump both of those guys to 36. I just have to. And then we got 38 out of KP. I'm at least going to 34. I don't think he's going to always be a 36-minute guy. So then we got Horford in for 26 minutes. Only ever going to give him 24. Peyton Pritchard played 11 minutes. We're going to cut his minutes down. Sam Hauser played 14 minutes. I'm going to cut his minutes down slightly. And that just leaves me 5 random minutes for Luke Cornette. Figuring out the usage rates for this team is going to be a disaster. Drew Holiday was 4 of 10 from the field. Brown, 4 of 11. Tatum, 13 of 22. And then Porzingis was 8 of 15. S&P, it's the Heat, man. They're not allowed to have good shooters. You either have white shooters or mid-range specialists. You get your Duncan Robinsons, your Tyler Heroes, your Kevin Loves, formerly Kelly Olynyk's, and then you get everybody else. It's so silly the way the Heat do this. All right, Miami. Nothing to like here at all. Kevin Love might be the actual best dude from Miami, and like you can always play Bam or Jimmy, but I don't see a single legitimate playable dude on Miami. Jaime Jaquez must not have the junior on his name on FanDuel. He does not. It's always fun, like, getting all your names stuff loaded back in, especially for rookies and stuff. There we go. Formatting fixed. Yay. Yeah, FanDuel, I'm not really going to anything from Miami. It shouldn't be surprising either. This game, they're taking on Boston, who probably is the best defense in basketball when everybody's healthy, or at least could be. And then Miami naturally plays slow and doesn't have a good offense to begin with. 217 total. This is the lowest total on the slate. You're not playing Miami today. And you're not playing Boston. Good luck choosing these dudes. Do you want to go for the ceiling of Porzingis? Sure. Drew Holiday at 6,500? Sure. Jaylen Brown at 7,900? Sure. But these guys are not going to look as good as other plays on today's slate. These guys are GPP pivots at best. Stay away from Miami, Boston. Oklahoma City and Cleveland. Hey, Keith, I've got a pretty good setup for it now where, like, I have my checks and balances in place that it's really hard for me to miss it, especially by going through this. Just choosing a specific name that you want to use as your universal goes a long way. And then I just like swap back in DK names and FanDuel names when I got to run stuff based off of like player IDs and everything. But now that I have a names table built, it's really not that bad. I switched from Basketball Reference to Big Data Ball before this season started, just to get my data a little bit easier. So I had to remap everybody. Otherwise, I would have had all of these things in already. Well, except for Jaime Jaquez, that is. OKC, 3.5-point dogs in Cleveland, 225 total. I'm excited to watch this one. I'd be more excited to watch Denver or Memphis if Memphis were whole. I can't watch Detroit Charlotte, unfortunately. So OKC Cleveland to me is the game I want to watch the most outside of Golden State Sacramento. 224 people. I'm going to take a quick break here to say hit the like button, which helps me out a ton. And don't forget, the link is in the description of this video. Banner at the top of the screen. 20% off any of our NBA packages using the promo code TIPOFF. I outlined it all at the beginning of the show. If you zip through it to catch up, go back and check it out. But sign up for this. This deal is going to go away, I think, on Sunday. Maybe it's slightly earlier. I think you're going to get until the end of October. 30 days has September. You're going to get till October 31st. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do so. Yeah, I had to do the child song to remember how many days there were. Leave me alone about it. Oklahoma City Thunder. They beat the piss out of Chicago by 20 in the opener. Shea, Giddey, both plus 19. Chet plus 14. Dort plus 13. Jalen Williams plus 8. I love this team, dude. I love this team. All right, so we got Shea in for 35 minutes. I think that's very reasonable. I got Chet in for 30. He played 25. Would have closed if the game was close. That would have been another 2. That would have took him to 25. I'm going to take Chet and pop him in for 28. Wait, did he get in foul trouble? 3 fouls. Didn't have one in the first quarter. Picked up one in the second quarter. Picked up another one in the second quarter. Oh, he didn't get one in that first 2 minutes stint. So they were trying to stagger. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm going to go 28 to Chet. I think they're going to baby him a little bit. Ousmane Dieng, first guy off the bench with Aaron Wiggins, of course, obviously. So Ousmane Dieng played well, only played 14 minutes. They did They played Lindy Waters for like a minute in the first half. It's just a dumb team. All right. All right. So 18 for Usman Jang feels a tad aggressive. We'll bump him down to 16. Now, none of this is really going to matter all that much. 32 for Jalen Williams, I think looks great. 33 for Giddey, I think looks great. Dort, 31, probably 32. Perfect. Isaiah Joe played 21 minutes. I think he's going to be a guy that's kind of always getting that sort of run. How big is Olivier Sarr? 6'11". Okay, I thought so. Okay, so Sarr played scattered 10 minutes. So we're going to pop him in for 10 there. We got to remember, this stupid Oklahoma City team is going to like jerk their rotation around a lot. They do it all the time. 10 minutes for Aaron Wiggins. 11 minutes for Cason Wallace. Oh, Cason Wallace played more than that. Cason Wallace played 19 minutes. We'll go 16 to Cason Wallace. That leaves me 8 for anybody, I guess. I'm going to pop Lindy Waters in there now because I know I have to fix his name and I just want it to force me to do it. What is Lindy Waters? Who doesn't have the rate? Is it Lindy Waters? I deserve that. No, it's not. Who doesn't have the rate? Oh, it's Cason Wallace. I didn't project Cason Wallace? Huh. Well, good eye. Good eye. All right, let's get Cason Wallace in here. Wondering why that was looking weird. All right, Cason Wallace comp per the Ringer. Shades of Drew Holiday or DeAnthony Melton. All right, we're going to do a 10% discount DeAnthony Melton. Bang. Cason Wallace now in, which then I believe will let me give those 8 minutes to Lindy Waters. And if that's the case, Lindy Waters is not Lindy Waters the third on FanDuel. Is he just Waters? Is Lindy Waters the third? Lindy Waters. Andrew, I think those are good comps. You know, if DeAnthony Melton gets better, he looks a lot more like Drew Holiday. He's just DeAnthony Melton is like the poor man's Drew Holiday. All right, so we got OKC in. Let's go to Cleveland now. For Cleveland, no Jared Allen, no Ricky Rubio, Garland questionable again, Dean Wade questionable this time, and I assume Dean Wade plays. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they were able to knock off the Brooklyn Nets in their opener by 1. Let's go ahead and delete all of the backups. And when I say backups, I mean backups and not the fact that Isaac Okoro played 31 minutes, and I did not expect that to happen. So we got Mobley starting at the 5. I actually need to delete even more of these dudes. So if we're going to get Evan Mobley playing the 5, the real thing to talk about is that we got Damian Jones playing 11 minutes. I'm going to give 12 minutes to Damian Jones. That will then allow us to go. Did Evan Mobley play 36 minutes? So 33 and a half to Mobley. So that's 30. So that's 45. So they went to Niang at the 5 a little bit, I guess. So we're going to say Mobley plays 30. You figure this one's competitive. 34 minutes for Mobley, 12 minutes for Jones. And then we're going to get 2 to Niang plus the other 18. So that gets it to 20. I guess we're going to assume, I don't know who does cleaning the glass say was the technical 4-man Am I even going to be able to see this? I want to see who Cleaning the Glass called the 4. I'm guessing it's Strus actually, and not Okoro. Nah, it's going to be Okoro. Yeah, Garland, Mitchell, Strus, Okoro, Mobley. Okay, so we're calling Isaac Okoro the 4 for this team, at least for right now. Although I do expect Dean Wade to be a part of this team in place of maybe somebody somewhere. Isaac Okoro played 30 minutes, played the entire fourth quarter. Hard to not want to do that again, but I'll go 28 just for poops and ha-has. 35 for Garland. He played 32. Let's make it 34. I got 36 for Donovan Mitchell. He played 35. We'll make it 30. We'll make it 35. Karis LeVert played 31 minutes off the bench, which is a lot of minutes. Max Strus obviously shot the lights out. Played 39 minutes, including all of the second quarter and basically all of the third quarter. Can't expect Max Strus to be playing 39 minutes again, but we clearly have to bump up his minutes projection. I'm going to go to 33. That just seems safe. Ty Jerome played 6 minutes. That's really the only other thing here. But I think that they're going to go to Dean Wade. So I'm going to put 8 minutes in for Dean Wade and then 8 minutes in for Ty Jerome. Okay, so OKC. Again, no standout dudes. Jalen Williams, 5,900 on DraftKings, 5,800 on FanDuel. Chet looks good on FanDuel, at least at 5,900. If you want to go to 10-6 Shea, do it. He's great. No problems with it. But nobody here for Oklahoma City just immediately grades out well. And that's not surprising again. Cleveland's a really good defense even without Jared Allen. I don't know how true that statement is. I don't know why I said it like that. Cleveland may be a good defense still, but I doubt it. Let's say it like that. On the Cleveland side, I think Darius Garland looks the best at 7K. It's just because of that relativity to that $9,400 Mitchell price tag. Mobley, again, is going to be popular because of the power forward eligibility. He's 7,300 on DraftKings, 7,600 on FanDuel. And then, look, if you think Karis LeVert is going to play 30 minutes, 4,900 shooting guard, small forward, there are worse options. Mitchell's all right. Mitchell's all right. Garland and Strus. Nobody just stands out. Tough plate so far. We have not really seen a lot of interesting stuff. So we're through 5 games. We've got 6 more to go. It's 7:30. I think I've really picked up the pace once we got past the Pistons. We're finding a rhythm here. So it's nice to see. Again, 240 people in the house. Love having you guys. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Contenders video's out a little bit later. Strategy show at 10 o'clock. I think I'm on the deeper dive with Spags, so tune into that one. We'll probably start that one off at 4:45. Packed house, packed day once again. Toronto Raptors, 2-point dogs in Chicago, 218 total. Raptors were able to pick up the dub against Minnesota in the opener, 97-94. This is the new look Toronto Raptors without Nick Nurse. Let's get all of the backups on out of there and then get everybody projected. We got Dennis Schroeder out there for 32 minutes. That's what I have. We got OG Anunoby out there for 34 minutes. I have 35. We'll drop him down to 34. Scotty Barnes played 37 minutes. I'm just going to leave him at 34. Pascal Siakam played 34 minutes. I got him in at 35. I'm willing to keep that for Siakam. And then Jake Puddle only played 24 minutes. Didn't close. Is that foul trouble? Nope. One foul. They closed with Precious Achiuwa over Jakob Poeltl. Any Toronto fans in chat? Anybody have any idea what would be causing that to happen. I would not have expected that, particularly because Jakob Poeltl, when he left the game, did he get hurt or anything? Jakob Poeltl was +8. You know, the Raptors were playing well with him. They went to Precious Achiuwa to close. Precious Achiuwa was -8 when he entered the game. I would have assumed you'd want Jakob Poeltl in if you're holding a lead. That is interesting. So Poeltl played 24 minutes. I assume he closes a little bit more frequently. He also didn't close the second quarter. I think they're using this as a little bit more of a timeshare than we would have expected. I'm going to go 27-21. But I think like 26-22 or 25-23 is the more interesting piece. I can't push that like that. Andrew, no shot. There's no Precious Achiuwa holds no value in the league. All right. Gary Trent off the bench played 27 minutes. Didn't close. That seems about right. I'm going to go ahead and give him, 26 minutes. Precious, then we've already handled. Jalen McDaniels and Malachi Flynn were up next. Grady Dick showed up in the game. I'm certainly not going to project that. We're going to get McDaniels in for 16. We get McDaniels in for 16. And then I'm just going to get Malachi Flynn in for what is, in this case, too many minutes, but that's okay for right now. On the Chicago side, Chicago, total dickheads in the opener. They got embarrassed by the Oklahoma City Thunder, much to my chagrin. So as we look at Chicago, I mean, their rotation was fine. They just got their shit kicked out of them by Oklahoma City. So let's pull the non-starters. 30 minutes for Kobe White. He played 30 and they didn't close. He also played the entire second quarter. I don't want to overreact to that too much. They also had to have a team meeting. So I'm going to bump him up to 31. What else do we got? Levine played 25 minutes. A little bit of foul trouble, I guess. I mean, it's Zach LaVine. We're not changing anything. I'm going to go 34 just to be safe. I don't think I should, but it doesn't matter. 35 for DeMar, I think is fine. Go 34. DeMar, I was going to say back to Toronto. That's not the case. Patrick Williams played 30, did close with the other goons. So I guess 29 feels about right. And then Vooch at 34. He played 32. Would have played 34 if he closed. Perfect. Drummond backup center. Done. Devon Carter, first guy off the bench, along with Alex Caruso. So I'm guessing that's just a straight swap out of White and Levine. Carter played 16 minutes. Caruso played 20. So, and then those guys weren't involved in the blowout run. So I'm going to go 16 to Carter. I'm going to maintain 20 minutes for Alex Caruso. And then Torrey Craig is the final guy left here. Torrey Craig played 22 minutes. I'm going to assume that happens again. Leaves me 6 minutes left over. And that was basically what Ayo Dosunmu played. So perfect. Done. All right. That is game number 6. We're going to take a look at the Toronto Raptors. First 8 o'clock game, by the way. Everything we hit before was before 8 o'clock. Jake Puddle for 5,300 to 27 minutes is still interesting, but you guys know the center deal. Similar story for Precious at 4K. Great backup price. Much more interesting on some of the smaller, like a turbo slate or something like that. If you're going to anyone from the Raptors, if it's not a center, it's probably Scotty Barnes, but I think Toronto does not look good. 218 total in this game is the second lowest behind that Miami-Boston game. Chicago side, they didn't really fix these problems. 7,100 for Levine, shooting guard, small forward. 7,200 for Vooch at center. 4,900 for Kobe White at point guard. Those three guys are going to stand out again and pull a little bit of ownership. 7,300 for DeRozan as well. These guys are a little underpriced. They just are. It's not a fun matchup against Toronto for sure, but these guys just have a little bit. There's too much ceiling here. There's just too much ceiling. Like, Levine is 13% to 7x. That's 50 fantasy points. I mean, that's a pretty high likelihood. Vooch is 19% to 7x. That's 50 fantasy points. Kobe White is 20% to 7x. That's 35 fantasy points. These guys hit those marks. You're going to feel pretty damn good about it. They're just not priced correctly. Chicago looks the best of any team that we had before, and unfortunately for us, they were dog shit in that first one. Game 7. Oh, speaking of dog shit, I got the shirt on today. Maybe it'll get a little bit better for them. Houston Rockets, 1.5 point dogs in San Antonio. 228 total, taking on Wemby. Houston got just absolutely embarrassed. Probably worse than, I don't know, maybe only Washington. They lost 116 to 86 against the Orlando Magic. Just bad Leroy Brown across the board. They were the baddest men everywhere. But let's hit the starters. Let's work our way through, figure out what this mess looks like. Fred VanVleet played 33 minutes and didn't play the final 6. So 34 feels good. Jalen Green was really bad. He played 30 minutes. So those starter minutes look fine. Dylan Brooks didn't play the 4th. He did play the entire 3rd quarter. That didn't get them anywhere. He was minus 15. I think 32 looks pretty reasonable if he closes. 33 for Jabari Smith. He played 26. Maybe 32 for Jabari Smith. And then Alperen Şengün played 28. Didn't close. 32 feels about right. Jock Landale was a backup center. He played 8 minutes. 8.5 minutes. Didn't go well for him. Doesn't look like they're doing straight backup. So Landale backed up Şengün in the 1st quarter, backed him up in the 2nd quarter, but didn't at the end of the 3rd quarter. They went to a little bit of Jeff Green. And Jeff Green did play a bit more. So I'm going to cut. Wait, did Jock Landale get hurt? Jock Landale out, concussion protocol. No Tari Eason, no Victor Oladipo. So we don't have to project Jock Landale for anything. I'm guessing we're going to get Jeff Green at the 5. That makes the most sense to me. I doubt they go to Boban. It's against San Antonio, too, so I think they'll be fine with Jeff Green in non-Wemby. Yeah, they'll be fine. So let's go 16 minutes to Jeff Green. Amin Thompson played 21 minutes. He's not going to close, and he closed this blowout. So I think we could feel pretty good about like 16 minutes for Thompson. Jae'Sean Tate played 16 minutes. So I'm just going to pop him into the 16 at the 4. Reggie Bullock played. He got like 12 minutes. I still have 16 minutes left over for these guys, but they got so blown out, I don't know what to do. Cam Whitmore played a bit. So we'll go 8 minutes to Cam Whitmore. And then I'm going to hide 8 more minutes on Aaron Holiday because it's easy. That's your Houston Rockets. Not a good team, guys. Not a good team. Let's look at San Antonio now. For the Spurs, I accidentally closed the tab, so that can open back up again. The Spurs lost by 7 to Dallas, 126-119. I'm going to go ahead and pull the guys that aren't starting. So, we got Zach Collins played 32 minutes, which I did not expect. Staggered with the second unit as well. No reason to suspect that's not going to continue. So I'm going to go 30 minutes to Zach Collins. We got 24 minutes out of Wemby. I think I'm probably going to cut him down to 28. They're just not going to play him like that. Keldon Johnson played 32. Jeremy Sohan played 29. And then Devin Vassell played 35. God, I like Devin Vassell. Okay, so there's the starters minutes. Now, figuring out everybody else will be interesting. Chetty Osman was the first guy off the bench, played 22 minutes. Do I think that he's likely to do that every time? No. So we're going to go ahead and give Chetty 20. Charles Bassey, backup center, played 13 minutes. So they did use Wemby a little at the 5, assuming you want to call Wemby the 5 in that scenario. But we do want to get Charles Bassey out there for the backup center run. I'll keep that 13. No reason not to. Yeah, Wemby did have the foul issues, but he's going to have those pretty regularly. We got to remember that that's just going to happen. I think he's not going to have like the longest leash in those situations. They're just going to pop him back in. They're never like the Spurs have no incentive to play Wemby like 34 minutes regularly. Trey Jones played 25 minutes. I think they're going to want him to just be a legit point guard more often than not. Malachi Branham played 18 minutes. We can continue that. And then we got 11 out of McBuckets, which is exactly what I have left. Fantastic. So we're going to move 6 minutes there, 28. That. Bang. All right, Spurs done. So as we look at Houston, look, I like Jalen Green for 6,300. Dylan Brooks for 5K. Alperen Şengün for 7K. Jabari Smith even slightly for 5,300. If I'm playing anybody from Houston, it's Jalen Green, $6,300 shooting guard. He's got an MPE on FanDuel. Or Dylan Brooks. Brooks is 5K shooting guard, small forward on DraftKings. Dylan Brooks is 4,500 on FanDuel, shooting guard, small forward. He's going to be pretty popular today. What else do we got here? Bobby, do I change my mind? Yeah, I don't have picks. Yeah, I don't give a shit about any of it at 744. The only thing that matters is whatever I'm putting in at 645 tonight. Yeah, Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks are my first two guys off in my mind for Houston. On the San Antonio side, $5,700 for Zach Collins. I mean, if he's going to be playing like well over 30 minutes, that is very appealing on a day like today. Devin Vassell for 6,800, Keldon Johnson for 6,900. I don't see any scenario where you're playing Wemby on DraftKings at 8,100. He's not crazy on FanDuel at 7,500 just because of the stocks, but just remember, he's going to be way more owned than we probably project. We're aware of it, by the way. And we're going to try to work to make that Wemby ownership a little bit more realistic, because he's going to get more ownership than he should. If his name were Jim Smith and we didn't know about him and we had the rates and everything, Wemby would not pull the same ownership. He's one of basically the only guys that you really need to worry about right now because we have no baseline and because of how he's projected. Tim, yeah, it is. Both. Fouls in Eurobasket. There's a lot more. You're allowed to be a little bit more physical in Eurobasket, and it's because he's a rookie. Look, there's going to be days where he has like 7 blocks and 3 steals. We got to be ready for a 10 stock Wemby day. He'll have one of those this year for sure, barring injury. All right, 4 more to go. Brooklyn Nets 6-point dogs in Dallas, 228 total. What do we got here for the Brooklyn Nets? We got the Cam Thomas experience in the opener. That's great. Always good to see. Brooklyn lost by 1 to Cleveland. We're going to cut out all of these backups and such. But we do have one big piece of news here for Brooklyn today. Nick Claxton out, and that is going to probably create some sort of situation with a lot of value. I had Claxton in one of my single entry lineups. Unfortunately, he had to leave temporarily. I don't think it really changed anything, but he was looking all right. But now we gotta talk this one through. So Claxton, we gotta fill his 28 minutes. Not a great spot here for Brooklyn. We got to figure this one out. Okay. So Ben Simmons played 23 minutes, didn't close, even though it was competitive. That's not all that surprising to me. They really need to stagger him. Go first, get that extra stagger so you can play him a little bit longer, but get him out of crunch time. I think 28 minutes for Ben makes some sense, especially with no Nick Claxton. Dinshitty only played 24 minutes. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting rotation. Bobby, you shouldn't listen to me for anything. Also, if guys just make shots, that's randomness. All right, Royce O'Neal in for 22 minutes is fine. Dorian Finney-Smith played 27 and closed. We're definitely giving him more playing time. Cam Johnson played 26 minutes. Weird rotation. Mikal Bridges played 35. That looks fine. So I think I'm okay with the minutes that I have of these guys. We didn't see Lonnie Walker, which was wild. Now, they can get away with most of this here. Day'Ron Sharpe did play the backup center run and played 12 minutes. I'm going to go to 24. The real question becomes, does anybody else play? DSJ played, and he played alongside Dinwiddie at times. He played 16 minutes. I'm going to pop DSJ in for 16 minutes. Who else is going to play for this team? We got to give Cam Thomas playing time after that one. He played 25 minutes, had 36 points, 13 of 21 from the field. So, I mean, 24 minutes for Cam Thomas? Is that just what we're going to say here? That only leaves me 4 more minutes. I think they're probably just going to go small. They're going to go to everybody else. It's maybe they go to Trendon Watford. Maybe. They could go to Harry Giles in theory, too. He is back in the league. He's on a two-way or an Exhibit 10 or something like that. I'm going to throw 4 minutes on Watford right now so I don't forget about him. Interesting talking point. I think Sharp has to play at a minimum 20 minutes. Or Watford. Like, someone is going to play 20-plus minutes at the 5 that isn't Ben Simmons. All right, on the Dallas end of this one. That's the first tricky team. I just don't know if it's going to matter. Mavs picked up the dub against San Antonio in the opener. I'm guessing there's not too much that we need to look at here. This is not a team that's fun. You get Kyrie in for 36 minutes. I went 35. You get Luka in for 34 minutes. I'm going 35. Derek Jones Jr. started and bogansed. First quarter, third quarter, didn't play at all otherwise. I think we could pretty safely assume that is going to be a long-term decision point. So we're going to pop him in for 14. Grant Williams played 35 minutes. I am definitely going to give him a little bit more playing time. Let's get him up to 32. Derek Lively played well. Didn't start. Maxi Kleber did get the start. Played 23 minutes. Sounds about right. Derek Lively off the bench played 30. Was plus 20. Highest on the team. I'm only going to give him 24. Obviously, the matchup doesn't... Like, maybe he plays a little bit more. Although he did close. I'm going to go 26 on Lively. I like the spot. Tim Hardaway Jr. played 28 minutes. I got him in for 27. That's fine. Josh Green played 30 minutes and closed. I got him in for 27. Let's go to 28. And we get Dante Exum, backup point guard run. At least a little bit of it, at least in the first half. Played 8 minutes. We'll take him to 10. That leaves me 11 additional minutes for, well, not Seth Curry, who played minimally in the third quarter. We'll go 8, and then I'm going to hide 3 on Jaden Hardy. Rates I don't have to change. They're already set up. So as we look at Brooklyn, yeah, look, it's Day'Ron Sharp's 3,300 on FanDuel or on DraftKings, and he's somehow 5K on FanDuel, power forward center. So he's definitely still interesting on FanDuel for sure. But on DraftKings, he's going to be popular. It's all about how long you think Day'Ron Sharp plays or what they do with Trendon Watford. If Day'Ron Sharp starts, you'll feel good about going to him as a value play. Keep your eye on it and keep your eye on the ownership, though. In 24 minutes, I have Day'Ron Sharp 50-50 to 7x. That would be like 22 fantasy points. Now, that's not going to get it done. You're going to need more than that. You're going to need... You're looking 32 for Day'Ron Sharp. That's going to be your goal, I think. I think you're going to want 30 plus on Day'Ron Sharp. Am I playing Ben Simmons? No, I don't see Ben Simmons as that great of a play. I don't see anything really here outside of Day'Ron Sharp. There's nothing there. For Dallas, obviously Luka looks really good. Yeah, S&P for sure. For anybody that's trying to play Lively, you're out of your mind. He's 6,400 on DraftKings, 6,300 on FanDuel. You're not playing Derek Lively at all. Unplayable. So, scuffed marshmallow. Don't do that. You can't play Derek Lively for 6,400 today. That's an impossible play. You should have straight 0. Everyone should. There are too many centers available that aren't Derek Lively. Like, you need like 45 fantasy points out of Derek Lively. Zero. Zero, 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 zero. Can't do it. You're playing Luka and you're playing Kyrie. You're basically never playing anybody else from Dallas. It's kind of just impossible. 284 people in the house. Are we up to 100? Are we 50-50? Oh, we're way more than 50-50. 180 likes. Guys, hit 200. That'll be fun to see. I just got a very nice picture of my wife getting ready to go out on the boat with her dad. Looking like a nice little day here. I'm going to share this for you guys to get my same visual. Wife is going out on the boat today. Looks like a really nice morning. How can I do this? Give me 1 second. What a beautiful morning. What a beautiful morning. Where'd the window go? It's up. I'm looking at it right now. Stupid phone. Me trying to show you guys this is really just... Nobody's going to give a shit by the time I get to it. There we go. Is that going to work? What a nice morning. Gorgeous. Beautiful morning to get out on the water. Enjoy. Enjoy, father-in-law. Enjoy, wife. There we go. Back to DFS. How did I do yesterday? I got destroyed. Destroyed. Bang. There we go. We're back in it. Let's go to Clippers and Jazz. Brandon, yes. Three and a half point favorites. That would be the Clippers in Utah. Clippers beat Portland by 12 on opening night, which isn't really like a game. That's like an extra preseason game. They played, let's see, we've got 32 minutes in for Russ. Played 28, didn't have to close because it's Portland. Mike, it is not Lake Gaston. It is the ocean. That's probably an intercoastal if I had to guess. But yeah, that is just going to be the intercoastal waterway off the coast of somewhere around Wilmington or Hampstead. So I'm fine with Russ's minutes. I'm fine with Paul George's minutes, Kawhi's minutes. Covington played 23. I guess I'm going to need to bump him up a little bit. Zoo played 26. None of these guys closed. Plumlee, Bones played, a decent chunk of time. Norm Powell played a decent chunk of time. I really don't see much that we need to change on these guys. This is like the easiest team in the world to project. Marcus Morris didn't play. Batum played a little bit less. I'm going to bump up Covington here since he played 23 minutes. We're going to get him up to 24. I'm going to take some of those minutes away from Marcus Morris, but there's nothing here. There's just nothing here. Batum played 10. We're going to cut that down to 14. That gets me Kenyon Martin to 12, but there's basically no changes for the Clippers. Oh, nice, Mike. Yeah, no, that's down in Wilmington. Let's go to Utah. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a very fair point, S&P. Utah Jazz didn't get off to the best start. Got their asses kicked by Sacramento. Lost by 16. Probably not a ton that we need to dig into here. Or maybe we'll get lucky and don't have chalk THT again, but let's figure it out. Jordan Clarkson played 31 minutes, didn't play the final blowout run of 2.5 minutes. So in theory, could have gotten upwards of like 33 or 34. So I think 32 looks good. THT played 22, didn't close. I think 28 probably makes some sense, but he wasn't great. Markkanen in for 34. I mean, that's just going to hold. John Collins played 30, didn't close. I'm going to go and bump him up to 31. And then Walker Kessler played 22. No real foul trouble issues there. Didn't play his final rotation. Might have played a little bit less. We're going to go 28. Now, backup center run. Well, Colin Sexton was... Kelly Olynyk was the first guy off the bench. And that was just direct backup to Walker Kessler. So I'm going to go 20 minutes to Kelly Olynyk. He played 16. They didn't have to go to him after that. They ended up going to Collins, I guess. You wrecked my boat, you goon. You guys see Snoop Dogg doing boats and hoes with John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell? Because it was awesome. All right, Colin Sexton off the bench, played 20 minutes. You know, maybe you want to give him a couple more. I'll go 22, though. I'm not going to make too big of a change there. Chris Dunn, backup point guard run, just straight up 16 minutes. That is easy. Akbaji and Keontae George were the final two guys that played in regulation. They both played 18 to 19 minutes. I have about 15 or 16 available. So we're going to go 15 to Keontae George, 16 to Ochai Agbaji. And then we're going to look at this team. Honestly, I don't hate this pace for an 11-game slate. So Clippers. Nothing. I see nothing here that is going to make you feel good. Remember, they're going to elevation in Utah as an old-ass team. Norm Powell, 4,900. I don't want Russ. He's fine. I don't want Paul George or Kawhi Leonard. I don't see it. I don't see it for the Clippers. Norm Powell, FanDuel, 4,400. Let's get that on paper. Utah Jazz, very different team. THT, 5,100 on DraftKings, 5,500 on FanDuel. Probably going to be the most popular Jazz guy. We're going to do that one again. Not going to be fun. Clarkson's all right for 6,200. John Collins isn't bad since he has the power forward eligibility. No standout plays here. THT will be the guy that gets the most love again. So if you like that experience 2 nights ago, feel free to run it back. All right, Orlando Magic, 3-point favorites in Portland, 224 total. I'd be interested in this one if I thought Portland was worth watching. The Magic kicked the shit out of Houston. I think they're going to do the same thing to Portland, and they're going to be 2-0 right out of the gate. I'm going to gut this rotation of all of the backups, make sure we get this piece right. Markelle Fultz played 9 minutes in the first quarter, 3.5 in the second. So we'll call that 4. 13 minutes in the first half, played another 9 in the third quarter. So that would be 22. Yeah, I think 30 works for Fultz. Suggs had basically the same game, but didn't come back in that fourth quarter run. But I don't read into that all that much. They went to Cole Anthony instead. Maybe that implies that they close with Cole Anthony, but I think 28 for Suggs is okay. I don't get the sense that he's just going to always not play the fourth. They were beating the shit out of Houston. 34 for Franz. I see nothing to change there. 34 for Banchero. Nothing to change there. Wendell Carter Jr., same scenario. So Cole Anthony, first guy off the bench, played 24 minutes, but not the garbage run. So I definitely want to maintain that 24 minutes. So we're going to say 18 minutes here, back up 1 plus another 6. Mo Wagner, backup center, played 15 minutes. We're just going to give Mo Wagner the backup center run. Gary Harris, Joe Ingles, and Jonathan Isaac were the guys that rounded out the rest of this rotation. Isaac was able to play 14 minutes, and he's not dead. He was actually plus 12, but kudos to John Isaac for getting through one game. I didn't know that you could do that. So 14 minutes to Isaac, 14 minutes to Joe Ingles, and 14 minutes to Gary Harris. No other changes necessary. I think Orlando is going to look really good. I was heavy on Franz Wagner in the opener. Got hot real early. 11 points in the first quarter with 3 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. Great first quarter out of Franz. As we look at Portland, this is going to be a little bit less exciting to do. They got beat by 12 by the Clippers. I'm going to delete the entire rotation just because it's Portland, and I really just don't know what they're going to be doing. DeAndre Ayton played 23 minutes, didn't close the fourth quarter. They were already getting the shit kicked out of them. He did pick up 2 fouls, played 5 minutes in the first, or 4 minutes in the first quarter, played another 6 and change, picked up 2 more fouls. So we had 4 first half fouls, didn't pick one up in the third, played 6 minutes. I mean, I guess we're going to say, 30 for DeAndre Ayton? So that's fine. Then we're going to get Scoot in at the point. He played 36 minutes. I'm assuming they're just going to do that no matter what. So 35 for Scoot. Simons played 27, didn't close. If he would have closed, he would have played somewhere in that 33 range. Thibault played 20, could close, doesn't have to close. I think maybe something like 26 for Thibault is probably the right answer for right now. Jeremy Grant played 29. I mean, Jeremy Grant's just going to play like 34 minutes a night if the game is ever competitive. So that's the starting rotation. Robert Williams, first guy off the bench, probably played a little bit more because of Ayton's foul trouble. We ended up getting 23 minutes out of Time Lord. They're going to find out that Robert Williams is a better option than DeAndre Ayton. I wonder what they're going to do when they do that. Maybe they can flip Ayton. Who knows? Shaedon Sharpe played 28 minutes off the bench. I think that's just going to be the 28 minutes that I see right here. Although Brogdon complicates those matters. I guess Malcolm Brogdon is going to become like a small forward for this team. Where is... Oh, yeah, Shaedon Sharpe. Now, I don't expect Shaedon Sharpe to always close, so we're going to go Sharpe 24 minutes. Then that allows us to go to Brogdon. Brogdon played 22. I think that's going to be a pretty safe bet for Malcolm Brogdon right now. And then Toumani Camara played 16 minutes. I have 18 left. I'm going to throw 2 of them at Jabari Walker just to place hold. And I'm going to give Toumani Camara the other 16. All righty. Orlando, second to last game. Orlando Magic. Yeah, so Wendell Carter Jr. looks great as a center. I think Jalen Suggs is at least a little sneaky at 4,600. Point guard, shooting guard. Fultz is 5,500. Mild interest. Franz Wagner at 6,500. Banchero at 8,200 is tougher to get to. Franz, Suggs, Fultz, Carter. Yeah, they're just going to be like... They're going to make so many mistakes with Scoot and Simons and Sharpe. That's just like 3 guys that are a lot of for themselves to a degree. Not Scoot. Like, Scoot's obviously going to get people involved, but he's a rookie point guard, too. All right, on the Portland end, look, $6,300 for DeAndre Ayton. Looks good, I think. I think that looks good. $6,100 for Jeremy Grant. I think that looks good. Hard to not want to do that. $5,900 for Scoot Henderson. Scoot Henderson is the guy that you should be playing today that is a rookie, not Victor Wembanyama. 5,900 for Scoot. If you want to go to anybody, that's the dude. 6,400 for Simons too, but we're talking about a dude that at 6,400, you're looking for 50. He's going to need 35 real points. All right, final game, guys. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. 314 people sign up for the Sims package. Promo code TIPOFF, 20% off. Links in the description of this video. Golden State Warriors, 3.5-point dogs in Sacramento. Still no Draymond Green, no Trey Lyles either. I think that's probably comparable. For Golden State, the Warriors lost to the Phoenix Suns by 4 on opening night. Let's go ahead. I'm going to gut this whole rotation just to make my life a little bit easier. Steph Curry, opening night, played 31 minutes. I think 33 for Steph is a pretty realistic scenario. Then we go to, actually, Steph is going to be there. Chris Paul, opening night, played 34 minutes. I'm going to stick with 33. That is going to allow me to go to 34 for Curry. Dick Chuck, probably at like 11:30 or 12 o'clock. Okay, Klay Thompson. Klay played 36 minutes on opening night. We'll go 34. And then we got Wiggins being dog shit, not even getting closed over by Kuminga. I'm going to go to 30 on Wiggins now that we know that can happen. And then we did get 28 minutes out of Kevon Looney, and I'm going to maintain those 28 minutes. Was it going to be more? Yeah, I'm going to go to 30. He got into foul trouble, picked up 4 in the first half. So now that we have that set, Kuminga, first guy off the bench, only played 20 minutes, does have the ability to close, probably needs to show up in the second quarter. We're going to say 22 minutes for Jonathan Kuminga. Gary Payton played 21 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pop him in as well for 20. Moses Moody played 18. Let's go ahead and get him in for those same sort of minutes. That leaves me 19 minutes for Saric, who played 20. Cool. Dario Saric in for 19. Actually, we'll just go 18 for Saric there. We can go 15 and 3. 11 and 9. I'm missing a minute somewhere. Give it to Saric, I guess. Boom. Golden State done. And then we go to my least favorite team, the Sacramento Kings. The Kings had no problem dispatching the Utah Jazz on opening night. Again, no Trey Lyles. We got De'Aaron Fox playing 33 minutes, missed the final minute. So 34 minutes for De'Aaron Fox seems fine. Kevin Huerter played 24 minutes, a little bit more limited than I would have expected, but was going to close. Played, I think we go like 28 to Huerter. Harrison Barnes had 33 real points, for those of you that weren't aware that was going to happen. The Barnacle of the Bay with the massive day. Let's get Keegan Murray in for 30. And then let's get Domantas Sabonis in for 33, 34. Let's do that. I think that's kind of easy to handle. Yeah, lucky him. Just what I would want. Curry's shoes. All right, Davion Mitchell, backup point guard run. That piece is easy. Sasha Vezenkov ended up playing. He got 16 minutes, so that works. Malik Monk played 23 minutes. He's going to be aggressively uninteresting at 23 minutes. JaVale backup center run. Okie dokie. And then Chris Duarte gets the final 17, and he will also be uninteresting. Final game, let's look at it and evaluate. Golden State Warriors. I really like Kevon Looney once again at 5,400, but again, add him to the list of centers. Chris Paul, probably my favorite guy for the Warriors at 6,600. 8,100 on FanDuel, a bit less so. Gary Payton to me is interesting. Point guard, small forward, 3,600, but I don't think you're going to get your value that way. And then on Sacramento, Kevin Huerter, 5,700, or sorry, 4,800, 5.7x value, 27 fantasy points. He's over. I have Kevin Huerter wildly over projected. That ain't going to work. What was Kevin Huerter's usage rate last year? Kevin Huerter last year. %18 usage rate. Bring that down a hair. I like Kevin Huerter a little bit. He does look kind of good. Does he have a point prop right now? I assume it's a lot lower than the 13 that I have given him. But that is why this is the process show and not the deeper dive. Kevin Huerter. That's not the right game. Where's Sacramento? Sacramento points. Kevin Huerter's points prop. Not even listed. All right. I will deal with that one later. Guys, we have made it through 11 games. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes. It is now time to see the optimal lineups across both sites. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do so now. Let's go ahead and get Fantasy Cruncher shared. Boom. And boom. First up on the docket is going to be DraftKings Optimals. Alrighty. Let's see where we stand to start our day. Thank you guys for being here. It's nice to see 334 people in the house. Breaking it all down, first week of the NBA season. All right, optimal lineup on DK. 291.8, so by a tenth of a point. Darius Garland, Devin Vassell, Zach LaVine, Jaren Jackson, Zach Collins, Chris Paul, Jeremy Grant, Day'Ron Sharpe. Okay, I don't think any of that is crazy. No pay-ups is kind of like not ideal. You get to Luka as a pay-up 2/10 down. Seems like Luka's going to be that pay-up guy. But I like the balance of that lineup. It looks a lot like that first big night. Let's see what happens if we add 100% of randomness to everybody. We get a little bit of a wiggle around these projections. Yeah, so Day'Ron Sharpe for 24 minutes is going to project quite well. Jaren Jackson Jr., I think, is going to be the most popular non-punt play. LaVine is going to be up there as well. I really like Scoot today, evidently. Not the best start against the Clippers, 5 of 11, but he did play 36 minutes. He's going to have a lot of trouble getting other people involved. There's just not enough talent. So Sharpe, Jackson, LaVine, Scoot, Keldon Johnson. But really, pay attention to these exposures. Day'Ron Sharpe is in half of my 150. Jackson's in a third. LaVine is close to a third. Henderson's at 26. Then you drop down to sub 20%. After that, nobody immediately stands out to me. Now, finally, we close it out on the FanDuel end for everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let's go ahead, grab FanDuel projections, and then we are done. No more process show over the weekend. I get to sleep in finally. It will be nice. But we'll be back on Monday. We didn't hit our prize picks plays yesterday, guys. Unfortunately, we went 1-1. Joel Embiid was dog shit, and that's what cost us. All right. Optimal on FanDuel, 322.4. This is the optimal by 0.06. De'Aaron Fox, Scoot, Spencer Dinwiddie, Levine, Paolo Banchero, which I didn't expect to see, RJ Barrett, Zach Collins, Jaren Jackson, Kevon Looney. But you can see that second lineup. Like, you swap out Fox for Van Vliet. You get Levine in for Dinshitty. Banchero Barrett becomes Brooks, Jaylen Brown. Like, you can get a very different lineup at the top. We add our randomness for the final item. Oop, not 150, 100. For my 150. Final crunch. Scoot Henderson at the top of the heap. What does Scoot's prop look like for today? Scoot's points prop is unlisted as of right now. Okie doke. I got my eye on Scoot. Kevon Looney, Dylan Brooks, Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Zach Levine, Norm Powell. Not a lot of like obvious pay up options to like today. I guess Luka is going to be my most popular pay up. If we're talking about guys north, this is FanDuel, mind you, north of that 10K mark, it's going to be Luka. I think Sabonis is okay. Curry is okay. If you go down to the 9Ks, Kyrie, Desmond Bane. But for now, guys, that's going to be it. 330 people in the house. Thank you for being here. I'm going to get on out of here right now. Take a little bit of a break, chill, maybe have another coffee. Thank you guys for the awesome week. Like I mentioned, it was a great week at Stochastic, and you guys are part of the reason that happened. So thank you for signing up through this video and through some of the other stuff that I've been doing. You'll see me for everything today. You'll have contenders videos, prize picks on Odds Shopper, strategy show, and deeper dive. We're going to have some fun. Let's win some money. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, everybody, for watching the process.